Here's the guide for factoring polynomials. We need to start with the common monomial factoring. Then whatever will be the result, we're going to categorize them as to whether the result is a binomial, trinomial, or multinomial, and we have specific processes under specific results. Then we end it. Let's start with this polynomial. Welcome to Factor Finder. We have here a polynomial 4a squared minus 12ab. According to our guide earlier, we need to start with the common monomial factoring and examine later if the result or one of the results, one of the factors, is still factorable or not. The common monomial factoring talks about the common factor for both numerical and literal coefficients. Take note that in this given, the numerical coefficient of the first term is 4, and for the second term is 12 or minus 12 or negative 12. You can also do that. In short, the common factor to them is 4. Once we remove that, we are going to divide both terms by 4 or remove a factor of 4 to examine the remaining result. But let's not factor it yet because we still have a factor here, and we're talking about the literal coefficients. Our literal coefficients for our coefficient for the first term is a squared, and for the second term is ab. There is also a common factor with them, and that's actually a. In short, the common factor for both terms of this given polynomial is not just 4, but it's more importantly 4a. That's the common factor. So once we take that factor, the result or the other factor is still a binomial. Since this is already a binomial and we removed a common monomial factor, the second factor is still a binomial in nature. And the result here is this. When we take out 4 and a on the first term, what retains is the remaining a. If you are not convinced with this, you could always check and multiply, do the reverse operation. And if you're going to see 4a times a, you will have 4a squared. Okay? So that's the reverse process if you would like to check. That's correct for the first term. For the second term, since we removed a factor for the numerical coefficient of positive 4, the operation of subtraction retains the same. Okay? It's still minus. Now we remove 4 from 12. The answer is not 8 because we're talking about a factor, not subtracting 4, but a factor of 4. We know that 12 is a result of multiplying 4 and 3. That is why the remaining numerical coefficients for the second term is 3. As for the literal coefficient, since we removed a, what remains here is b. So the complete factor for the first step after using the common monomial factoring is 4a times the quantity a minus 3b. Now, in our guide earlier, we are going to examine further if this binomial here is still factorable. And the result is a binomial, so it could only be either difference of 2 squares, difference of 2 cubes, or the sum of 2 cubes. But both of these terms do not satisfy those conditions. That would mean this is our final answer. Again, you could always verify using distributive property as to whether your answer or our answer is correct or not. 4a times a, 4a squared. 4a times 3b, that's 12ab, and you have the same operation, minus 12ab. So this is the result for this video. The next factor we're looking for is for our next subscriber. Subscribe now!